Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Beaute Industrie podcast, your online support community for the professional beauty industry, connecting you with educational pieces, innovative industry products and inspiration from industry experts. I am your host, founding director of Beaute Industrie, Tamara Shaw. On today's episode, we are diving into the role, the daily life and asset of the business development manager. This role can come in many titles, being account manager, sales rep, BDM or area manager, all of which sit under the umbrella of connecting and supporting you from a B2B brand level. Shelly Leone, our guest today, has spent many years in clinic and was actually one of my first ever connections I made in the beauty industry, as Shelley was my rep for a sugaring company when I was a salon therapist. Previously, Shelley has worked with the likes of Bridget Benj, the salon coach, in a coaching and relations role, and is now an account manager for a global skincare brand. Trusted with new business acquisition, business growth and development, we are speaking with Shelley today about how vital your monthly meetings are with your business development manager.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Pleasure. How are you today, Shelley?
Yeah, good, thank you.
That's good. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. I really appreciate you taking a little chunk of your morning out.
Pleasure.
As mentioned in my introduction here, there are so many titles that a business development manager can have, right? So what I want to do, other than saying business development manager 25 times throughout this segment, I'd just like to condense this lengthy word today by just calling it a BDM, which is the acronym for business development manager. Shelley, can you just explain for us, our audience, what exactly is a BDM? And give us just a brief rundown of what are some daily things that you may do or daily tasks that you tick off your to-do list.
Sure. So I guess a BDM in a nutshell is somebody who represents the brand, and it's their job to grow that brand in the clinics that stock it. So daily I visit my clinics to see the salon owner for our monthly meetings, business meetings. I'll also usually spend time with the girls. So obviously going through product training, but also enhancing their knowledge on skin and their prescription skills. And we also do lots of events in our clinics as well. So just getting the brand out there to the clients as well, we help with that. I also Skype some of my clients. So if I can't get to them because they're in remote locations, I also do a lot of Skype meetings as well.
What an amazing role. There's so much to do. How do you even wake up and think, oh my goodness, I'm going to eat my breakfast. I've got so much to do on my plate today.
The days are generally, pretty long, but that's okay. When I've got to get 2 hours across the other side of town, it's fine.
And so when you're having these meetings with business owners, what kind of timeline do you give them? So how often should somebody see you, or how often do you see your accounts?
I think as a salon owner, from a salon owner's perspective, they should be really needing to see their account manager monthly. They should be needing and wanting to see them monthly. And that would be that would even be for sole traders, I think. This is best for a business discussion, with the BDM. Talk about how the team have succeeded since your last training, or how the last month has been. What growth have they seen? Have there been any hurdles in the past month? Even things like looking at the month ahead, what's going on? Are there any gaps in the business? What promotions are on? Is there anything else we can help with in that month ahead? So it's kind of a really good check-in. What happened last month? What was the growth like? What's going on in the future? How can we help in the next month before our next appointment?
Cool. So it's almost like your own little business coach, but You're really just supporting them through purchasing product, the business owner, I mean, and from your end, that's just what you do. So I'm guessing that you've got so many different types of accounts. So as you were saying before, a sole trader. So there are lots of different businesses in our industry. So you've got your large chains, you've got corporate accounts, which may be accounts with one or two or even three businesses under their name. Then you've got sole traders. So from your point of view, there really is so much experience that you've dealt with, from large scale kind of chains all the way down to that individual business owner, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think some of the, obviously some of the promotions and things like that, I think should be adjusted slightly depending on who you're talking about. Some of the business figures, obviously will change a little bit between them, but I think often sole traders tend to stick with what they know, and they tend to not shoot for the stars as much. So it is also our job to help the sole traders to shoot for the stars and to think bigger than what they're currently thinking, and getting out of their comfort zone a bit.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and that's almost like, in a nutshell, why we've developed Beauty Industry, because it really is about pardon me, just not being confined to your own treatment room walls. And so this is, in traveling around and talking with so many business owners, this is the thing that I heard the most, in that I don't get to speak to anyone else because I'm stuck and I'm doing the do every single day, and I'm just completing tasks. I'm seeing clients, and then I'm shutting the doors and going home falling in a heap, and I don't have anyone to converse with. So I really love that, your business development manager is able to kind of help you on that level, and it is just the voice that you can talk to. I know a lot of business owners, and they are really, I'm not going to use the word scared, but I'll almost say hesitant in talking with a BDM, because they're worried that that person, because they do see so many different types of businesses in the industry, is going to share too much in a financial sense. So you're talking about figures, you're talking about sales, monthly meetings, etc. So, how pardon me, my voice today. So, how safe is their conversation with you if they do disclose all of these figures, and if they say, hey, I'm actually not meeting budget, I'm actually not able to, have enough cash flow to pay my staff or to pay for my products up front this month? How safe is that to chat about with you? Or would you decide, let's not have that conversation today?
No, I always welcome that kind of conversation. I feel like it would be extremely unprofessional for me to, talk about any of that to any of my other clinics. I would never dream of mentioning, figures of anybody else. But I think the more that they share those kind of things, the more opportunity they'll have to learn, because, well, I guess some people don't know how the BDMs can actually help them. So the more they actually share with me, I can help them reach their goals. So, and if I don't know where they currently are with their rebooking rates or their retailing or anything like that, I can't help you grow if I don't know where you're standing at the moment. And I think as a BDM, we get so excited when we see growth. That's like our benchmark. When we see growth in the clinic, even if it's that therapist that was only prescribing 5 products, a month, and now she's hitting 20 products a month, we're so excited. We high five the team. We get really excited for things like that. So we need to see where she's at currently so that we can see that growth and help you with that growth.
Yeah, I love that. And that would just be really kind of inspiring and encouraging for you to see, and also for the business owner. In terms of coming from a product brand, and then also, yourself having targets in terms of how much they spend, I find that a lot of business owners sometimes do pigeonhole BDMs, or they call them sales reps, because they just think that your number one job is to literally sell the brand, right? So what other topics do you also discuss in those meetings other than financials or products? So are we looking at development? Are we looking at kind of mentoring? Like what other conversations are there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think mentoring and motivating and just different skills. So I get like it's not just product knowledge skills with the team, but it is also about recognizing different skin conditions and helping them build their own skin knowledge. But it can be just other generic things on how to deal with difficult clients or just other challenges that they could be having. It could be even be staff challenges that the business owner is having, you know, attitude problems, culture problems. We can definitely help give advice on overcoming those kind of challenges as well.
Yeah, I love that. And in your role, you also do some classroom-based training as well.
Yes. Yeah.
What kind of feedback can you give the business owners, for example, when they've sent their staff to one of your classes?
It's so important not just to send the student to the class and then hope for the best and think, yeah, all right, she's trained up, she's ready to go, because it doesn't work like that at all. You really need to hold the students accountable for what they're actually learning. So obviously the salon owner should have done the training before, so they'll know exactly what's being covered. They need to make sure that the therapist has an idea of what she needs to learn out of it, and that the salon owner is then going to be testing her on exactly what she learned. So often I find, not so much recently, but often I've found therapists coming into the training, sitting up the back, texting on their phone the whole time, because they know no one's going to care when they get back of what they've learned. So the ones that sit straight up the front, eyes wide open, writing down everything, I know that their business owner has expectations on them when they get back, which is great.
Yeah, for sure. And what should some of those expectations entail? So if I was to send one of my therapists to your class tomorrow and they came back on, the day after, should I be writing up little quizzes for them to test them, or should I be, expecting them to hit a certain amount of products now per treatment, or to be training the rest of the team? What kind of expectations should I have?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's so overwhelming. Training can be overwhelming, and we know that people only hold on to about 20% of what they've learned. But I think quizzes are a great idea. I also think getting the therapist to come back and present what she found and what she learned, and even if it's she's attended it for the second time, what was your aha moment this time, and explain, things in more detail. And then from there, I always do a follow-up training with my clinics in-house, because I know how overwhelming the 2 days can be. And there's a lot to learn. So learning the concept and learning the treatments, learning some ingredients, learning the, home prescriptives, those kind of, it's quite a lot to learn. So I definitely follow up with them again. But the best businesses are the ones that the salon owner also holds the staff accountable.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely agree. I also think it's really beneficial as well. So when I particularly learn something, I might be listening to a trainer and their language might be completely different to my language. So what I find is really helpful is taking the most important pieces of that session, of that class, and then rewriting it in my own language. So then it kind of becomes my natural sound, and I can actually articulate what I've learned a little bit better.
Because then that's the way you're going to speak to a client as well. The client's not going to believe you if you start throwing in some longer words that isn't part of your usual language either. You need to use the words that you would normally use.
Absolutely. And in terms of traveling around, seeing lots of different businesses and accounts and connecting with all of these therapists, I'm sure, your job sounds like an absolute dream job. So I know a lot of therapists would be saying to you, oh my goodness, Shelley, I would love to have your job and work with your skincare brand. Pardon me. What kind of advice would you have for those therapists or for those managers who are looking at you like you do have that dream job? How can they get from therapist to business development manager, or from manager to taking that next step into the BDM role?
I think I've got a couple of points on this. I think the first one is networking. they really need to show that they do everything outside of the business currently realm where they are at the moment. So if they need to be attending other, seminars on acne or pigmentation or business seminars, any other education that's outside of the clinic, they should be asking for time off, taking it as annual leave, and they need to be going to these events. They need to be just networking with other companies and just slowly, finding out who is in the industry, because I feel like the industry is quite small. So actually getting out there and being present with other people in the industry, I feel like we're not in competition. Everyone's so friendly and it is so small that you really need to get out there. Now, I think the other thing is also having a strong business background. So you don't have to study necessarily outside of the beauty industry, but just having, understanding figures in the business. And I also think that having a strong education background really helps as well. So I would recommend doing the Certificate for in Training and Assessment, and that will just help you deal with different learning styles and different people in your classes that you will have to teach. It'll just help you engage with them differently.
Yeah, so there's quite a few things that need to be ticked off. You can't just overnight say, right, I'm going to quit being a therapist, I'm out of the treatment room, and now I want to be a BDM, right?
Correct. Definitely.
So lots of things. So definitely networking, starting to expand your own vocabulary and your own knowledge.
Yes.
Coming to more classes and being a trainer first and foremost. And what I want to add in there is you need to hit your sales as a therapist before you can even think about coming into a role like a BDM.
Absolutely.
If
Absolutely. Yes.
Sales on a weekly, monthly, daily basis, and you come into a role like a BDM, I can assure you that, some of those targets you're probably looking at, Shelley, and having to try and meet yourself, that would be really quite daunting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because instead of talking about, 20 products a week in the clinic, you're now talking about figures with a few zeros onto it. So you really need to, have a strong sales currently where you're at. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
It doesn't happen, right? And so coming back to your point, Shelley, on networking with others, now that the word is out about the Beaute Brunch, which is an event we're hosting by Beaute Industrie, I would like to share with our audience that you're actually going to be a guest speaker on our expert panel on the morning.
Yay! I'm looking forward to it. I really can't wait. I've got to buy my ticket after today, actually. I've got to buy my ticket after we hang up.
Oh, you're so gorgeous. So for our audience, if you're interested in networking with Shelley, so I definitely would be wanting to pick her brain a lot more, all others that are going to attend the brunch, pop onto our Facebook, our Instagram, our website. All of those channels will lead you and funnel you into the website, which you can purchase a ticket from for $35. And if you're a foodie, the best thing is you can eat all the breakfast items that you wish while being inspired and expanding your network. And I just want to touch base on yesterday, I had someone say to me, Tamara, I don't think I can come to the event. I'm so scared of meeting people. And are we all going to sit around a big round table and we're going to eat breakfast together really formally and introduce ourselves and say, hi, my name is, and I work at. And I said, absolutely not. No. If anyone knows me, they know that I am so casual. Like all we really want is we're just going to have an amazing time. There's going to be media wall, lots of different activations so you can take photos and network with others. It really is just a really fun, casual morning. We will have some expert speakers like Shelley here, who we're just going to ask some questions and just pick their brain a little bit more. And if you feel inspired, and if you're game enough to go up to Shelley or any of the other speakers or anyone in the room really, and say, hey, I want to connect with you further, whether that's just another coffee or whatever it is, it really is just a comfortable space.
I can't wait.
Yeah, amazing. So until next week, thank you so much, Shelley, for joining us today. I really, really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
your time out of your busy day. And we look forward to connecting you next week on the podcast. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode, number 4, what your business development manager can do for you, with the lovely Shelly Leone. Tune into next week's episode number 5 tips for getting tax time ready. Until next time, stay connected.